Welcome, everyone, to Vocab Stream. In today's session, we'll learn some essential Japanese phrases that you'll find useful if you're planning a trip to Japan soon. Let's begin. Our first phrase is hello, my name is, which in Japanese is Konnichiwa, watashi no name wa. Konnichiwa, watashi no name wa. This is a basic way to introduce yourself when meeting someone for the first time. Second, we have how are you? Which in Japanese translates to Ogenki desu ka? Ogenki desu ka? This is a common way to start a conversation with friends, family, or acquaintances. Thirdly, the phrase I'm good, and you? In Japanese is Genki desu, anata wa? Genki desu, anata wa? Use this phrase to share how you're doing and ask about the other person. Our fourth phrase is nice to meet you, which is hajimashite in Japanese. Hajimashite. Use this phrase to express your pleasure when you meet someone new. The fifth phrase is I'm sorry, which in Japanese translates to gomen nasai. Gomen nasai. Use this phrase whenever you need to apologize. Our sixth phrase is what's your phone number? Which is Anata no denwa bango wa nan desu ka? In Japanese, Anata no denwa bango wa nan desu ka? Use this phrase when you need to ask someone for their contact information. The seventh phrase is where are you from? Which translates to Anata wa doko kara kimashita ka? In Japanese, Anata wa doko kara kimashita ka? Use this phrase to inquire about someone's origins. Our eighth phrase is what do you do for a living? Which in Japanese is Anata no shokujio wa nan desu ka? Anata no shokujio wa nan desu ka? This is a great phrase to find out about someone's occupation. The ninth phrase, what do you mean? Translates to Nani o iamai shimasu ka? In Japanese, Nani o iamai shimasu ka? Use this phrase when you're trying to understand what the other person is saying. Our 10th phrase is what does this mean? Which in Japanese is Kore wa nani o iamai shimasu ka? Kore wa nani o iamai shimasu ka? Use this phrase to ask for the meaning of a specific word or phrase. The 11th phrase is I don't understand, which is wakarimasen in Japanese. Wakarimasen. This phrase can be used when you're having difficulty understanding something. Our 12th phrase is what is your opinion? Which translates to Anata no iken wa nan desu ka? In Japanese, Anata no iken wa nan desu ka? This phrase can be used when you want to know someone's thoughts on a topic. Our 13th phrase is how does that sound? Which in Japanese is Sor wa do kikamasu ka? Sor wa do kikamasu ka? Use this phrase to get feedback on an idea or plan. Our 14th phrase is could you speak a little slower? Which is Mao sukashi yukuri hanashite itadakemasu ka? In Japanese, Mao sukashi yukuri hanashite itadakemasu ka? Use this phrase if you need the other person to slow down their speech. The 15th phrase is could you repeat that? Which is Soro kurikashite itadakemasu ka? In Japanese, Soro kurikashite itadakemasu ka? Use this phrase when you need someone to repeat what they said. Our 16th phrase is where can I find a restaurant? Which in Japanese is Rasudaran wa doko enai aramasu ka? Rasudaran wa doko enai aramasu ka? Use this phrase when you're searching for a place like a restaurant or a shop. Our 17th phrase is what's your name? Which translates to Oname wa nan desu ka? In Japanese, Oname wa nan desu ka? Use this phrase to ask someone's name. Our 18th phrase is how can I help? Which is Dono unai otatsurai dekimasu ka? In Japanese, Dono unai otatsurai dekimasu ka? Use this phrase when offering your assistance to someone. Our 19th phrase is how much does this cost? Which in Japanese is Kore wa ikura desu ka? Kore wa ikura desu ka? This phrase is essential when shopping. The 20th phrase is I don't know Japanese, which translates to Watashi wa Nihongo o shiramasen in Japanese. Watashi wa Nihongo o shiramasen. Use this phrase to let others know that you're not familiar with the Japanese language. The 21st phrase is I'm learning Japanese, which in Japanese is Watashi wa Nihongo o manandemasu. Watashi wa Nihongo o manandemasu. This is a great phrase to use when you're practicing your Japanese skills with a native speaker. The 22nd phrase is where's the nearest train station? Which in Japanese is Moyori no eki wa doko desu ka? Moyori no eki wa doko desu ka? Use this phrase when you're trying to navigate in Japan. The 23rd phrase is excuse me, which is sumimasen in Japanese. Sumimasen. Use this phrase when you want to get someone's attention or apologize for a minor inconvenience. The 24th phrase is thank you, which translates to arigatou gozaimasu in Japanese. Arigatou gozaimasu. Use this phrase to express gratitude. The 25th phrase is I love Japan, which in Japanese is Watashi wa nihon jie desuki desu. Watashi wa nihon jie desuki desu. Use this phrase to express your love for Japan. The 26th phrase is I'm a student, which in Japanese is Watashi wa gakusei desu. Watashi wa gakusei desu. This is a handy phrase to use when you're telling others about your status as a student. The 27th phrase is can you recommend a good restaurant? Which is Yua restaurant o osasun dekamasu ka? In Japanese. Yua restaurant o osasun dekamasu ka? Use this phrase to ask locals for their restaurant recommendations. And finally, our 28th phrase is I will be back, which in Japanese is Watashi wa madarimasu. Watashi wa madarimasu. Use this phrase to let others know that you'll return. Thank you for joining us on Vocab Stream today. We hope you found these phrases helpful. Until next time, happy language learning. That's it for today's lesson. See you all in our next session. Stay curious and keep learning. Sayonara.